Hey guys, it is John the Ninja live in the dojo, aka the Dojang, aka the John the Ninja Studios, repping the Power Ranger shirt. I got it in the end, but damn, do I love this Power Ranger Morphin. Pray to the Lord I never spend that much money on a knick-knack that really won't make me, turn into a crime-fighting superhero, but in the meantime, it was worth every penny. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about something that was suggested to me by a friend to do my intro for when I opened the show, especially at 89.1 WYBF or anywhere else that my radio show is playing. It is the intro you hear when I play a song, and then it goes in, and then the show starts, and then you hear me, blah, blah, blah. So the idea I got to have one is basically from when I was interning at MMR. There's a couple of jocks and DJs that have a show intro, but the one I love the most, even though Matt Cord's was pretty great, even though it was just pretty much a setup for a whole Philadelphia basketball, baseball, Eagles type sports announcement that, hey, this guy's here for you. My favorite was Jackson's. It really got the blood pumping, and it had a lot of things from the early 2000s when I grew up, a lot of cultural relevant things to me that I remembered, I identified with, and it just really got you going. I always remember my favorite part, which for years I did not know what it was to, was you'd hear a bell ring and you hear, showtime! Now, after watching reruns upon reruns, even though this is one of my favorite shows of all time, Futurama happened to be that particular soundbite, that scene where he got it from. Because I used to ask him, I was like, man, where'd you get that from? He's like, bro, I made that so long ago, I don't remember. So it was from Futurama. It was Fry, when they had people in the cryogenic sleep and they were waking them up and screwing with them, him and Bender. So,
showtime!
So, with that said, I wanted to make my own intro. And I was playing around. At first, I was doing editing in the other room. The guy who was mentoring me at the time, Pancake, he was pretty much in charge of my internship paperwork and teaching me how to run things around the studio. He was so good at manipulating sound and editing audio that I wanted to copy him. He was just really quick with it, and I was just still struggling. So I think the first piece of audio I ever actually edited was Thin Lizzy's Holy War. You can hear there's just the repeat and the repeat and the repeat. That's what I really wanted. So got a little bit more experience. I had some free time in the other room, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make an intro, and I'm going to make it something catered to the things I love. So at the time, I was already dubbed Ninja. I already got the name, I already received it, and I was like, okay, what can I do to have the moniker I've in place go along with The Rock? So I went online, I listened to some sound clips, and I added a little bit of MMR stuff, and I added a little bit of, YouTube stuff. I did edit this current piece you're about to hear just because I don't want to be using material that's not mine, so you'll just hear an R. Not the MMR, but you'll hear an R. But this is basically my first intro, and this is what I came up with.
Ninja? Ninja.
This ninja knows no fear.
Who is he? He possesses great skills.
I cannot tell you.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Damn!
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Moltar, that was awesome.
Thank you.
It's morphin' time!
I forgot about that. I forgot I had the Power Rangers Morphin Time in there. But basically, you can hear all the influences I had. The one thing I love about that, as I always say, first person to call me Ninja was Sarah, but the person who dubbed me Ninja, the guy who I owe my name to, is Marcus. Marcus is the one that's really ran with it, because the story goes, I was in the studio, Sarah was in the desk, I was just doing whatever. I got up and I went to the door, and she was like, whoa, and I was like, what? And she was like, dude, you were like there, and then now you're here, and I didn't even see you move. It's like a ninja. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I go sit down, and my favorite person at that station, Marcus, walks in. He's like, hey, Sarah, how you doing? He's just a cool guy. And she told him the story. He's like, hey, man, I'll never forget him. He's like, hey, man, I heard you're a ninja. Yeah, that's real awesome. That's what we're going to call you, ninja. And then anytime he saw somebody and I was there, he's like, hey, man, have you met Ninja? So I owe my name to Marcus. Thank you so much, Marcus Goldman at WMMR. Thank you. I appreciate everything you've done for me. So with that said, I told him I was working on, an intro, and he's like, hey, man, you gotta steal some ninja bites from YouTube and movies. And the one that he mentioned that I vividly remember when I looked it up that night, if you ever saw Ninja Assassin has a scene where, they're just chilling around, and then this old guy gets scared because he knows the ninja's there. He's like, ninja? Ninja. And the reason I remember that night so vividly is because Marcus has this really cool shirt where you see a ninja across with a sword, and then you see red here, as in the ninja's supposed to be slitting the wearer's throat. He still has it, I hope, because it is the coolest shirt. But I remember finding that, and then growing up, I saw Beverly Hills Ninja. So I just was looking that up, and then that part where it's like, who is he? He possessed great skill. That's a very old, 80s action movie. It was crap quality when I saw it. So I added that in there. And I wanted something with Harvey Birdman, because Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, was big. I was a big fan of wrestling, and I remember Rodney Piper's movie, I think they live or they walk among, whatever. But there's a part like, I've come to chew bubblegum and kick ass. So I wanted that in there, and a Bruce Lee sound, because I'm a ninja, so somebody's got to be getting beat up. And all that was just a combination of just hours of just trying to cut it. It sounded horrible. It sounds terrible now, but I enjoyed every second. And of course, I had to have AC/DC as the little bed that plays when the person comes in and talks. So what I ended up doing was, I was like, you know what, I need to clean this up a little bit. Let me see what I can do to get a better, just make everything sound a little better. Make it sound more of a flowing intro. So then I went in for a couple more takes. I even found a Arnold Schwarzenegger intro where he's like, it's showtime. It didn't work. But I did end up putting it in for a little bit when I was at 89.1 WYBF. But I think this one I'm about to play for you is almost the intro I got to where it is now. Let's see what this sounds like.
Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll. Do it! Who said that?
Ninja? Ninja. Praise him!
Ninja knows no fear.
Who is he? He possesses great skills.
To rock!
I cannot tell you.
Now, you're all here for one reason.
To chew bubblegum and kick ass.
That's right, we're here to rock!
And that would be the version everyone would come to know. I really wanted to clean it what I had up, and I am a huge King of the Hill fan. I just love King of the Hill, so I had to add that part where you hear praise him. So now I'm starting to think like, okay, how can I make it more in tune to not just like, hey, we're here for rock, but for me. So I pulled excerpts from The Simpsons, like Homer's To Rock. I remember there was a bed at MMR where I would press the button and you'd have Homer say, rock and roll. I could never find it. I would have put it in that intro if I could, but I couldn't find it. And then they had one where he was laughing and like, what women wants us? No, something to do with Walt. I remember, damn you, Walt Whitman was what he was saying. So I pulled from just some of the cartoon shows I knew, and I was like, okay, how can I get this even better? I played what you heard for so long, and I was just like, you know what? I think what I could do is I could add music, and that is probably the best idea I had for the whole intro. So I took songs that I was listening to a lot, and it really fell in so perfectly when I thought about it. Like for me, I wanted the sound of the click for, hey, the mic has been cracked or turned on, for Good Morning Vietnam. That's Robin Williams. If you haven't seen that movie, it's great. I really wanted to that emphasize that. So what could be a big explosion, and then automatically me being an AC/DC fan, TNT. And then I was listening to a lot of Wu-Tang Clan, so Wu-Tang Clan, Ain't Nothing to Mess With, Black Sabbath's Loner. I think the best piece of music I picked for that was a song by this band called Overlord. I met their guitarist Mark in New York City when we went to go see Iron Maiden. This was my first trip into New York to Madison Square Garden. I was all by myself. I bought a ticket. I was going to see this Hell and High Water. You will find out more about it in that concert resume video. But they had this song, and you'll hear it when you hear Dale Gribau's like, wait till my pastor hears about this. But it just layered it so vividly to me, like the desperation or the seriousness of the moment, like you're about to go on a rock. And of course, it's also my favorite part because Dale is misusing his religious power in a hotel. You know, he's trying to get over on. It's like, is it the kosher floor? And like, sir, we don't have a kosher floor. Wait till my pastor hears about this. My God is a vengeful God. And that's something I always emphasized at school. I went to a Christian school, and I just got a kick out of saying the craziest things that would make people cringe in the name of Christianity. I'll be like, hey, my God is a violent God. Or I stole this one from Futurama. It's like, as your God is my witness, you know, and the God of Abraham or Isaac, you know, sees before me. I would just say things just to get under people's skin, because obviously we have the same God. But, you know, again, I usually bring up the fact that a lot of those kids are sheltered and aren't, you know, affixed to the idea that real things happen in the real world, and just because somebody does something doesn't mean they're terrible or things are going to happen, blah, blah, blah. That's a totally different subject. But that was my favorite part. Like, yeah, you know, Christianity represented. You can like this kind of heavy metal and rock and hip hop and still be good with God. So that's at least what that part meant to me. So I created the intro. I loved it. There's little snippets where you can hear the edit or the block. I hated that at the very end because I spent close to 2 years working on this. Just every now and again I go back. But when I finally made the decision to make it perfect, there was a part where Mick Jagger says, "Now you all know where we're all here for one reason," and I had to cut it because when he said, "That's right, Otto, we're here to rock," it didn't fit into the time frame of the music, or it didn't sound right with the music, so I had to edit the music. I had to edit that out, and you can hear the little chip. You'll see it, but that's the only blemish on this thing that really is one of my favorite pieces of work, pieces of art. So what I ended up deciding to do, thanks to my friend's recollection and his suggestion, was I took every piece of video that I pulled for this intro, and I pretty much made it a visual concept for you, so you could see what's happening. Because, you know, as has been said before, radio is theater of the mind. But now you actually have a visual to see what the intro is doing, and it's really awesome. I enjoyed it. You know, it wasn't too hard, but again, just listen to the audio. That is my favorite part of this experiment.
It's showtime.
Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll. Do it! Who said that?
Ninja knows no fear.
Who is he? He possessed great skills.
To rock!
I cannot tell you. You see, my identity must remain mysterious and my mission secret.
Wait till my pastor hears about this. My God is a vengeful God.
Now, you're all here for one reason.
To chew bubblegum and kick ass.
That's right, we're here to rock!
So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Do it right now. I see your hand right on the keyboard and on the mouse. So when you do that, I am able to go to the PR reps of these great athletes, musicians, political figures, and get these interviews. So much goes into the actual fabric of trying to get them. So I really do appreciate when you guys watch it. In the meantime, be smart, be mindful, and most of all, God bless. I'll see you next time.